When I first bought my M&P 2.0 compact, I knew right away that I wanted to get some night sights for it. So I decided to go a little bit out of the box, and I wound up picking up some sights from a company that had just come out on the scene, and that was Night Fision. Now, the construction of Night Fision sights are done very well. They have an encapsulated front to make sure that that tritium vial is secure and snug and will stay where it belongs. But one of the things that I noticed right away was that orange front, it wasn't as bright as I thought it would be. Now, before I get into the tritium, the one thing that I have to say that I like about the front, even though the orange in this video, as you're going to see, is a little bit deeper than what it really is in real life, the orange ring shows up very well with those U-notch rears. Now, of course, the blackened rear sight, in regards to the ones that I purchased, work very, very well. And as you can see on the background that I use here, it actually shows up very, very well in regards to acquiring any target that you're looking for. But I have to say, and I want you to be aware of this, that if you choose to get the orange, you may be slightly disappointed on just how deep that orange is. And while it shows up very well on a video that has a little bit heavier saturation, I don't know if it's necessarily as bright and as vivid as I would have preferred in regards to buying them. So, to compare the orange, I think the best comparison I can come up with would be with the TrueGlow TFX Pros. Now, the orange that you see there is identical in color. Of course, the Night Fision has a slight advantage because of the thickness of the ring that surrounds that tritium vial. Keep in mind, they are constructed slightly different as well, and I think overall they definitely have a superior construction build to them. Now, neither sight that you see in here is a terrible sight. I just like the Night Fisions a little better. Of course, I wanted to add something to my P10 because the stock sights that came from the factory were not that good. The rear tritium vials are bright, but that front one was just lacking. So I contacted Night Fision and I asked them if I could just switch out the front, and they said yes, that it would line up with no problems with the stock rears. Again, you can compare the U-notch versus a square notch, but both actually show up very well. Again, with a little heavier saturation in the video that's normal, you're going to see that the orange, while it does show up very well, that red shows up even better in my opinion. As a matter of fact, the red is what I would prefer because it does remind me of a lot of sights that I've had in the past, whether they've been from Trichicon or, of course, from Ameriglow, because it just has a little deeper color to it, which is what my eyes prefer. So to give you some good comparisons, I pulled out my Ameriglows that I have on my Glock 19 MOS. Again, unfortunately with the Ameriglow, it got a little washed out with the lighting. But I would tell you that if you're going to compare the two, these are probably the two best comparisons in regards to similarities of color. So if you're like me and you like to have that really bright front, I would highly recommend, if you're going to go with Night Fision, to go with the red. It just shows up a little bit better and it does look a lot like Ameriglows. So to give you a good comparison of what I own, I have the XS Big Dots, my TFX Pros, a set of Ameriglow in the yellow, and of course the red. And on the end, you can see that I have the Night Fision sights. All these sights with a little bit of light shining from the left show up very well. In my opinion, I would say that Night Fision, Ameriglow, and of course even that XS Big Dot show up probably the best, with the least being the TFX Pro. Again, it's going to depend on what your eyes prefer, but all the colored fronts that you see with those thick rings around them, in my opinion, are the best way to go. Again, with a little bit of light shining from the back, which almost kind of looks like sunset, you can see that the reds and the oranges show up very, very well. Again, that yellow, again, perfect in my opinion. But all of these sights, in low lighting conditions, I think do a fantastic job. The TFX Pro, in my opinion, is probably, again, the dimmest lit, but that huge golf ball on the XS Big Dot definitely works as well. Now ultimately, at night is where it counts. You see the XS Big Dot, the really dim light of the TFX Pro. And then of course you can see that I have the Ameriglow in the yellow, the Ameriglow in the red, and more importantly, the two at the end are the Night Fision. The first being the CZP-10, and the last being the M&P 2.0 Compact. Now overall, for me, what I prefer is I definitely like the P10 sight a little bit better. Not because of just the red, but also because one of the things that was kind of a disappointment on the M&P 2.0. Now, while they claim that these tritium sights are brighter than any others on the market, one of the things that I noticed about the 2.0 Compact was while the tritium is a very, very bright, kind of a I guess, a bluish white light, which is kind of interesting to say. One of the things that I noticed right off the bat was that the window of the tritium vial was smaller. So while it appeared to be brighter, the problem was that the window was so small you could barely get that brightness out. Now, whatever they did with this P10 sight, I think is what they really wanted. And the reason why I say that is because the window on the P10 is a little bit bigger, which allows that light to come out a little bit better. Now, whether or not that's true, whether or not it's my eyes, I really can't tell you. All I can tell you is from my experience and what I've bought, the night vision sights are very good, but I would definitely be careful of which color you choose and definitely ask questions about how big those windows are.